All right, so this last lesson for the year is going to be on solving solving multi-step equations. I want you to go ahead and try this warm-up. Pause the video, try it, and see how much you can do, because you should be able to remember how to do two-step equations from the beginning of the year this year. So we've done multi-step before, but let's kind of work our way up. Pause the video, try these, and then we'll check our answers. All right, so you should be done. Should work through all the problems after you stop the video. So for this first one, we see that the whole side over here is being divided by 8. So I need to get rid of this 8 somehow. So when I do that, I'm going to use opposite operation, division, and I'm going to multiply both sides. And so I'll get 2 times 8, which is 16. I'm going to subtract the 3. Okay, and you should have gotten 13. So check yourself. You got 13, pat yourself on the back. Good job. All right, so this next one, this one should have been super easy, hopefully. We're going to get a by itself, so we're going to use opposite operations, add 4. We get 9, divide by 9. A is equal to 1. So hopefully you got A is equal to 1. All right, then let's go on to this next one. We are subtracting 8. We're trying to get A by itself, so I need to get rid of this 8 first, get rid of the constant. Then we're going to divide or multiply. So first we need to get rid of this 8, so we're going to add it to both sides. We get negative 5A is equal to negative 30. Then we're going to divide by negative 5. And so we'll get A is equal to, since we have a negative divided by a negative, we get a positive 6. All right, let's try this next one. Again, I'm going to subtract 8 on either side. I get 6R is equal to negative 84. All right, and then I'm going to divide by 6 here. And let's do 84. I don't know 84 divided by 6 in my head. Should. It's 14. But since this is a negative divided by positive, we get negative 14. All right, so that's what you should have got. All right, and then we'll go to this last one. This last one's a little tricky, okay? Sorry if my video went out. I got a notification about my battery. So over here, we're trying to get n by itself. So I'm going to first, again, get rid of, if we have a constant over here by itself, if this whole thing was divided by 7, then I would multiply by 7 first, but since it's just one little section, kind of like this was like a 7n, right? I first get rid of the constant, then I'd get rid of whatever's with the n individually. So we want to first subtract, so we get 2 equals n over 7, and now we're going to multiply by 7 to get rid of the 7. So we get 14 is equal to n. All right? Now we got to use a special property for this one. I would ask you what property, and y'all would say distribute. So we're going to distribute that 9. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times b is just 9b. Negative 27. We'll add 27 to either side. We get, let's see, okay, we get 63. Oh, I probably should have subtracted 36. Yeah, that'd probably be a smart move. Oh well, we'll do 63 over here plus 9b equals 0. Okay, and that was probably not the best way to do this because now I'm doing more work for myself. But then I'll subtract the 3, or 63 on either side. I get 9b is equal to negative 63, and I'll divide by 9. B is equal to negative 9. Okay, so there's a faster way. I'm going to go ahead and redo this one over here. There's another way to do this. If you did it this way, perfect. You're totally fine. But there's a little quicker way of doing this. So I'll distribute. I get 36 plus 9b. And then I think, okay, I want to get constant by itself. So again, I want to remove, or I want to get the variable by itself, so I'm going to remove this constant. So I would subtract 36. And since these are both negatives, I add them. So I get negative 63 I'll divide by 9, and so b is equal to -7. Sorry, this should have been 7. I can't divide tonight. Okay, so -7 is my answer. So here is the main steps. Okay, so hopefully that was pretty easy. If not, I can give you some more practice problems for 2-step equations, but we're gonna move on to harder multi-step equations, okay? So here are the steps. First, you want to distribute, combine like terms, do everything you can to simplify each side separately. Then you're gonna add or subtract. So we do opposite operations or adding, subtracting, kind of like I did up here, right? I subtracted the 8 here. I subtracted the, sorry, you can't see this. Right, I subtracted the 8. I added the 8. There are a lot of 8s over here. Okay, but I want to add or subtract. Then I'm going to multiply or divide to get the variable by itself, okay? So those are my rules with that. So let's look at some examples. All right, so again, if you want to go ahead and give these a shot on this paper, you can, but I'm just going to walk you through kind of how to do it. So first step would be to distribute or to combine like terms on either side. So on this side, we don't really have any terms we have to combine. All it's over here is a -14, so we're good. But over here, we have 2 like terms. I'm going to underline our like terms, which are -4v and 5. So I know I can combine those because they're like. So -4v plus 5 will just give me, I have a negative and a positive. I'm going to subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. So this is just 1v, or just v, -8. Then my next step was to add or subtract to get the variable by itself. I'm trying to get this variable by itself, so I need to get rid of this 8, okay? There's 8 again. All right, but I'm going to add it to both sides, and then I will get because this is a negative, this is a positive. Again, we're going to subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number, so we get -6 is equal to v. And so we have solved for v at that point. All right, so let's move on to this next one. Over here, we're going to first distribute, and then we'll combine like terms, so on either side. So we have nothing to distribute on this side, but we do have to distribute over here. So we'll do 124 equals -5r minus 20r. Negative times the negative is +24. So make sure when you're doing this to be careful with the signs. And what I see a lot of people do is they forget to distribute the -4 to both terms. They just do it to just one. So make sure you distribute both. Okay, that's a common mistake that I see. Now we're going to do like we did the last problem. We're going to combine our like terms. We have like terms here. They're the same sign, so we're going to add them. -5 minus 20 is -25. Okay, and then we're going to rewrite everything else the same. All right, then again, we're going to add or subtract that term. So when I subtract those, I get 100 equals -25r. I'll divide by -25. And we get -4 is equal to r. All right, so let's have you guys try these next two, and then we're going to go, or try this next one, and then we're going to go over, we'll go over it. So pause the video and try it. All right, so we're going to distribute. Over here, we get -4x plus 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 4 times 6, which is 24x. All right, and then I'm just going to rewrite this side. There's nothing I really have to do over on this side. It's just a 144. Then again, I'm going to combine my like terms. We get 4 plus 20x is equal to 144. Again, these are different signs, so I subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. And then I'm going to subtract 4. So I get 20x is equal to 140. Divide 140 by 20. I think that's, I don't know that in my head. I think it's 70, but I should make sure. Oh, 7. Okay, I think it's 7. All right, so 70 is my, or 7 is my answer, okay? then for this next one, you also with these, y'all, you can't really use your calculator for any of these besides like little division or adding or subtracting. But you can't put like variables in your calculator and solve it. I know some people have tried to do that and it doesn't work very well. So, well, you just can't. So make sure you don't try to put variables in your calculator and try to solve it that way because it won't work. All right, so again, here we do have more than one term on this side, but can I simplify these? Can I combine them? No, I can't. So I'm just going to treat this like any other problem. I'm going to distribute first. And then, okay. And then I'm going to combine like terms just like I have been. Again, I can't combine anything over here, but I can over here. So I'm going to simplify the sides as much as I can before. Okay. And then from there, okay, I can move my variables on one side. So I would even kind of label these variables and then constants. Okay, I'm going to move the ones with the n to the left side. The numbers by themselves are my constants. So I'm going to move to the other side of my equation. So in order to get rid of it over here, I got to subtract 5n because I just want constants over here, no more variables, and then I got to do it on this side as well. Okay, make sure I subtract. So I just get n plus 15 is equal to 17. And then I'm going to subtract the 15 to make sure I have constants on this side. So n is equal to 2. All right, let's keep going. Variables on both sides. All right, so for variables on both sides, I'm going to do as much as I can to simplify it, combine like terms. We have like terms, we have a 1 and a 3 here. We have like terms on this side, so we can kind of just work on either side separately before putting it all together. So let's combine like terms. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 8p is equal to, and then we can add these two. 4p plus 8p is 12p. Now we have it just like the last problem, where then I can, okay, this time I want variables over here, constants over here, because there's already a constant over here, so why move it more than I need to, okay? So I'm just going to move the variables on this side, so it cancels out of there. I'm only have constants on this side, and then 12 minus 8 is just 4, and then I'll divide by 4. 1 is equal to p. All right, this next one, notice there's nothing I can simplify on either side. So this is just, I'm just going to work through the problem. I'm going to label it variables, constants. Okay, I need to just have constants over here. So I'm going to remove the variable, which is 4. So I'm going to subtract 4. And good, so I have only my variables on this side. 5 minus 4 is 1, so I'm just going to write x. And then I only want variables over here, so I got to get rid of this constant. So I'm going to subtract 3. And so I get x is equal to 5. Alrighty, so let's do this next one. Combine like terms. You can pause it and try these last two if you would like. All right, here we go. So we got negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5n minus 5. Ooh, you probably tried this, and when you tried it, if you notice this part, you can already tell what this kind of problem is going to be. We've talked about it before, but if we add 5n to either side, they cancel out. And if I add 5 on either side, they cancel out. So I'm left with something like 0 is equal to 0. Okay, then I think to myself, okay, is that a true statement? Is 0 equal to 0? Yes. So I'm going to have an answer called all real numbers, or I would say infinite solutions. Okay, I don't know why I said of. I meant or infinite solutions. You can tell I'm tired. All right, so we got this next one. Same thing. I'm going to have variables on one side, constants on the other. So I want to get rid of my variable on this side, so I'm going to subtract 2b. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract my 2. Okay, sorry, I don't know why I wrote 8. And then we got negative b is equal to 6. Now, the negative over here, we got to divide by -1 to do that, or my sign will just, my positive 6 will just become a -6. All right, so that is my answer over here. All right, so let's put it all together. Here we go. Last couple of problems. So we're gonna first distribute for these. Again, if you ever wanna, let's just pause the video, try these, see if you can put it all together, and then I'm gonna go over it. All right, here we go. So we're gonna distribute. We got -5. -5 times -r is positive 5r. Is -20 plus 2r. Okay. I want variables on one side, constants on the other. So I'm gonna get rid of my variable on this side. And if you want to, once you start doing enough of these, you can start doing them in more than one step. So you could even, oh, okay, I want to get rid of my constants over here, so I'm going to add the 5 and subtract the 2r at the same time in one step. I'm not going to do that yet with y'all. But if you are there, do it. I'm not holding you back. All right, so we're going to add 5. We get 3r is equal to -15. Divide 3. Sorry, I'm running out of room. We get r is equal to -5. All right, then we're going to go over here. Same thing, distribute. All right, so -4 times 1 is -4. -4 times -2 is +8. X, I'm going to combine my like terms, rewrite everything if I can't combine it on this side. 8 plus 8 is 16, x minus 4. All right, and then I'm going to have variables on one side, constants on the other, so I'm going to get rid of my variables over here. And I get -13x equals -4. I'm going to add my 13. And you'll notice that these become pretty, like something you can be pretty quick at after you've done them quite a bit. All right, and then, y'all are like looking at that like that is ugly. But that's okay. We can have a fraction. Fractions are okay in math. But if you do end up with something like this, it's always good to go back. Okay, did we do everything right? Did we do everything right? No, I didn't copy down this negative right. So it's a good thing that I went back and checked my work. So if you get something weird like that, yeah, it is okay a lot of times to get fractions, but check over your work, because then, look at this. If I have a -8x and 8x, these cancel. And then I'm left with, right, this. So I'm actually gonna rewrite this problem over here. You can see where we're going wrong, just not copying that one thing right, totally messed up my problem. So don't do as your teacher does, okay? I want to say that I did that intentionally, but I didn't. But learning from mistakes is part of life and part of math. So these cancel. I'm left with -13 plus 3x equals -4. Okay, that's a lot prettier of a problem. I'm going to add 13 to either side. 3x is equal to 9. Divide by 3. X is equal to 3. Okay, so it's a lot prettier of your answer. So always go back. If you end up with something weird like this, go back, look at your work, and see if you forgot negatives like me. So, good way to end. Make mistakes, but make them before the test, and keep working really hard. You guys are doing great. This was our last lesson for the year. Good job, guys. See y'all soon. Bye.